having had consecutive 8-2 seasons and just being a couple points away the last 2 years from winning a championship, we were the preseason #1 choice in the MAC coaches poll. But it was a really diverse set of voting, and while we finished in first place, our next opponent is Albright, and they had the second highest total of first place votes. So we had 4 first place votes. Albright had 3 and was the 4th place team. Widener had 2 and Delaware Valley had 1. So when you look at the conference, everybody knew there would be a bunch of good teams. Lebanon Valley, who unfortunately for us just beat us, is also now in a tie for first place with 3 other teams, and they didn't receive any first place votes. So coming into the year, the expectations were high. We certainly didn't perform the way that anybody had hoped in our opener, and went up to Brockport and really struggled offensively early. It was a 3-0 game at halftime, and just kept the defense on the field for a while, and in the end had a bunch of missed opportunities. And I would say that looking at that loss and the loss that we just had, the numbers or the game is pretty similar in terms of the reasons why we lost. I mean, we just struggled on third downs, didn't run the ball as effectively as we would have liked, and so we responded really well after losing to Brockport in the opener. We're able to win 4 consecutive games, including 2 against teams that at the time were in the top 25. Got to win and a 15-game home winning streak at Widener, beat a very good Delaware Valley team here a couple of weeks ago at home. So I do believe that we're a good team and one of the better teams in the conference. But we didn't play that way necessarily the other day, and now we find ourselves, instead of being the only team in first place in the conference, we find ourselves in a 4-way tie. So I told the team last week, look, we'll be in first place Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock, but whether we're sharing that place or whether we're the only team is really up to us. And we went down to a tough environment against a very well coached, very sound Lebanon Valley team, and we knew it would be emotional. They were playing on homecoming. It was also Oktoberfest weekend at Lebanon Valley, and we talked about getting off to a fast start and not allowing them to hang around. We knew they would be emotional, and it was important for us that we did some positive things to kind of dampen their emotions, and we didn't. We made mistakes that actually continued to feed it, and ultimately the number of mistakes that we made, many of which should be attributed to them, but also a great number that can be attributed to our inability to execute, ultimately cost us the football game. So, we're not unhappy with where we are, but we're not as satisfied as we could have been at this point of the year. But there's still half of the conference who would love to be in the situation that we're in, and our bye week has come at a really good time. I think that physically, much like most college football teams at this time of the year, and especially mentally, it's a good time for us to catch a break and to really reassess where we are, what areas we need to improve, because there have been some problem areas that have been lingering, which help contribute to our losses, and we need to get those things fixed. And if we don't, they'll probably cost us another football game later. So it's a nice week to have where we can more or less focus on us and the areas that we need to improve, and start to look ahead to Albright a little bit. But mostly we want to use this week to get as healthy as we can physically, to get recharged as much as you possibly can at this time of year mentally, and to address the issues that we need to address so that we can improve. Because there are some areas that we're good at, and we may be able to improve them, but I think we can make much more significant improvement this week by addressing some of the negative problems or the bad problems that exist on our football team, and eliminate those will make us much better than maybe slight improvement in some areas where we're already pretty good. So that's kind of where we are right now. Still a long way to go. Relatively pleased with where we are, but certainly not satisfied. And whether we finish, in first place in the conference, we don't know. I mean, our goal will be again to improve this week and to ultimately prepare to play another really good Albright team who fortunately has to come to our place in about a week and a half.
This has been a production of Lycomingfootball.com.